going?
Oh, everything is going really well. I really sensed a shift in my whole thought about this topic since our last um, class. And um, it's, they say that some people say, well, if I changed my body, then I will love myself. But to have that shift of loving yourself first is such a win-win, because you get that sense of happiness right away. And then it just seems like the rest comes naturally.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I don't know, it caused me to think to myself, to really question my thought about myself my whole life. Like, uh, whatever made me think that I have a food problem? It sounds kind of weird, but I just got this sense that it was that here I was, this perfect spiritual being, walking along the beach, and somewhere along the pathway, I picked up this rock and put it in my pocket. And then I thought that rock was part of me.
Mm-hmm.
And so lately, I've been really questioning um, the fact that I ever accepted that there's a problem here. And I've started thinking of myself uh, differently. Like, I've started thinking like, maybe I don't have a problem. maybe maybe I really uh, just picked up some notion somewhere, and it doesn't matter where or when or how, but maybe it's a lie. And I don't know. I've changed. I've changed my belief about being a food addict. I just don't see myself as much that way, and I've had less trouble with food, and I indeed have started losing weight again, and I haven't felt um, an that desire as much to binge or to eat more than I really want, or have that struggle. I don't feel that struggle with food. I don't even feel that like, oh, I'm just waiting for the next meal anymore. It's more blended in, and it almost seems like I'm getting down to my real self or something.
I love it. I love it. And while you were speaking, it reminded me of um, step 3, which is create a new story. So
Mm.
basically, you created a new story. You had a story, right? That you're a food addict, and then it's sort of like self-fulfilling prophecy, right? When we have a belief, and then you created a new story, which is that was just a story. I have a healthy relationship with food, or I'm not even, like I'm not obsessed, if you want to use that word. I'm, whatever it was for you, whatever the experience was for you, preoccupied maybe is a little bit softer word. I'm not preoccupied with food like I used to be, waiting for my next meal. So yeah, it sounds to me like it's like you created a new story.
Yeah, I did, and I sort of uh I thought to myself, like, how do thin people think about food? I mean, if you want to be uh thin or normal weight, I've observed a lot of thin people who don't particularly seem worried about any types of food.
Hmm.
They eat what they want. They don't eat when they're not hungry. They and I'm starting to see myself as that kind of person. And um, part of it is asking myself, what is it that I really want?
Mm-hmm.
What is it that I really want? And I don't tell myself there's anything off limits. I do have a desire to eat what I consider healthy food, but I really believe healthy and delicious can go together really well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think another thing I'm doing more is really appreciating
Mm-hmm.
the food I do eat and staying in the moment with it and really tasting the food that I eat and enjoying it and appreciating it. And it's making me be more aware of being present in every moment in life
Mm-hmm.
and not being behind myself like in the past or too far in the future in my mind so that I'm preoccupied. Instead, zeroing into the now and asking myself, what is it that I really want?
Yeah,
And
I love.
yeah,
Yeah, I love that. So when you say, you notice how thin people eat or how they think about food. So I was just talking to someone else earlier today, Julie, and we were talking about how there are times where we may eat when we're not hungry, but it's soothing ourselves. We've learned to soothe ourselves if we do that. Yes, like me personally, I do that much, much less than I've ever done, in my adult life where now I predominantly eat when I'm hungry. But if I eat something when I'm not hungry, I soothe myself about it. Whereas before there would be so much guilt, now there's just like it's I use Abraham, I think about it, I pivot, I think about something else, I say, it's okay, it's not about the food anyway, it's about my vibration. So
right.
whatever I need to do to feel better, to soothe myself because I ate something that when I wasn't hungry or I ate it late at night. So does that come into your experience now?
Yeah, that resonates a lot with me. In fact, just a few days ago, when there was a lot of tumultuous news on the TV, we won't go into what. I found myself being really like magnetized to what was happening, and I felt myself have this desire to eat. I just had felt this desire, and I fought it for a little while, and then I just thought, you know what? I'm just gonna have it. I'm just gonna have some chocolate right now. So I did. I went ahead and I had these little chocolates, the little individual wrapped Hershey's, and I had about 10 of them.
Mhm,
And I wasn't full afterwards, but I got tired of them. And then I thought, I'm going to have some granola because I hadn't had granola for a long time.
mhm,
And I hadn't done this really for a long time, even where I
mhm,
was emotionally eating. But I let myself have it. And then I became more like the observer, looking at myself and thinking, okay, well, now I've had this. Um, I didn't like punish myself because I'd already given myself permission to do it.
mhm,
And I just thought instead of punishing, which I have kind of gotten away from even a while back, but instead I look at it and I think, okay, how was it? Was it really good?
mhm,
Was it good for the first few? When did it get boring? Like in the middle? Was it you know I just kind of did a little review, and then when I was kind of satisfied or full or whatever, I looked back and I thought, well, I don't feel like eating anymore, which is a good thing. I'm not hungry, and I don't have burning desire to eat anything else. I've already eaten the two things that I hadn't been letting myself have or hadn't been indulging in lately that much. And now today is done, and and tomorrow's another day, and I'm just going to be okay with it.
Yeah.
And so I was, and there was no self condemnation at all. I just thought, oh, that's kind of emotional eating, yeah, and it was sort of helped me in a way, but sort of didn't. And so I kind of reviewed it so that I think now I have that in my in my mind, and maybe the temptation to do that again, I can think back, oh yeah, I did that. Yes, I could do that again if I want, but hmm, I don't know if I really want to or not.
Yeah, not yeah. So what I hear you saying is really this tool or this skill that you're practicing and then you've gotten really good at, where you're listening to your body more, whereas maybe before you weren't so much listening to your body. It was more like you said, emotional eating, or I call it, for me, unconscious eating, emotional eating. So now is this a change for you from how things were before, like taking the class and stuff like that? Is this a change for you?
Yeah, I think I just love the wisdom of Abraham, and I think it's ingenious of you, Rhonda, to come up with this book, because to me, when I found Abraham years back, I just realized this is what I've been looking for my whole life. This is the answer. This explains everything. I felt like I'd read so many self-help books, and I thought, okay, this explains everything. I don't have to read one more. It's like now I know what
Mm-hmm.
makes, and yeah, it is different because it's more about loving myself and
Mm-hmm.
knowing what I really want
Yeah.
too. That's another part of it too. I've been trying to ask myself, uh, what is it I really want in life? Not just want food wise, which is a fun part of life. I like to cook. I love the taste of things, but like, what other things do I want to do? And I find myself um, allowing myself to have what I want more often. Like, even if it's a work day, and there's work I want to get done, if part of me really wants to go for a walk because it's sunny
Mm-hmm.
and beautiful, then I'm like loving myself like a little, like I'm partly a mother and partly a child, and my little child help self says, oh, I just want to go for a walk. And and I think, okay, I'm just going to go for a walk. And instead of like, no, you have to do this.
Right.
So yeah, I'm finding more things that I want to do. Even in my artwork, I'm not conforming so much to certain things I used to do. Now I'm trying new things. And I think sometimes I have overeaten in the past or gone to food when I was frustrated in another place. Like I really wanted this, or I wanted love, or I wanted this, and I was afraid to ask for love or afraid to call a friend to go for a walk. And instead I would just take the quick fix. And now I take a little more time to think, well, okay, I could have that, but what else do I want? Maybe there's something
Yeah.
deeper that I really want.
Yeah, I totally relate to that. I was just talking to Gina, my coach and my colleague, about that. Like, and it's like, what do I want to do now? What do I want to do now? What do I want to do now? Instead of um I should be doing this. I should work. I should be painting, like in your case. I should, and that's still one for me. I to still practice and gain mastery with, and but I'm getting better and better at it, like as far as I want it, what do I want? But like what you said, knowing what you want and loving yourself, those two things, yeah, well, I just want to touch upon those. So like step two in the course is starting a love affair with yourself and your body. And yeah, I mean, people come into the program or into the group or wherever, and it's like, I want to lose weight. I want to lose weight now. Like, tell me how to lose weight, show me. And then, you know, it's about alignment. It's about making alignment your number one priority first, making how you feel important. And then that, that leads you into to really asking, like what you've been doing is like, what do I want? And it's not only what do I want, big picture, it's like, what do I want in this moment? Do I want to take a walk? Do I want to work? Do I want to, go give my partner a hug? Or, what is it? What in the small moments, like being in the moment, like you're talking about. But yeah, it starts with loving yourself. And that is like, we think that we'll love ourselves, when a lot of us think we'll love ourselves when we lose the weight, but it's really the opposite. It's like you'll attract more of what you want when you begin to love yourself, when you get happy, right?
Yeah, that's true. And as a nurturer, I'm like a heavy duty nurturer. I think I came out of the womb just saying, I want to help people. I just want to help people. And that's all well and good. But I think part of my life has been a journey of learning how to love myself more,
Hmm.
because often I didn't get back what I expected to get back from people. And I found out that that was unrealistic to be giving and then expecting something in return. Instead, I'm thinking more now about taking care of myself, and that's something I ask myself every day is like, have I taken care of myself today?
Hmm.
And like, even putting lotion on my legs that get dry in the wintertime, taking the time
Hmm.
to take the tangles out of my hair, to take a shower, to um, read a book,
Hmm.
take my vitamins. Am I taking care of myself? I ask myself that, and I'm more apt to be taking care of myself now.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah, that is, part of loving yourself is self-care and doing all those things. Absolutely, absolutely. That's what I love about that. You know, teachings of Abraham is it's okay to be selfish.
Yes.
And we so many people have problem with that, with taking that time to take care of yourself and really pamper yourself, or because we are caregivers, a lot of women, and some more than others. Some were really into that, just naturally. I'm a natural nurturer as well, and probably not as much as you, but I have that gene also.
Mhm.
um and I have someone in my close family that used to drive me crazy, because she used to say that that's selfish, you're selfish because you're thinking of yourself. But really, I love that how Abraham talks about that's that is really part of it, is love, part of loving yourself. Your purpose is joy. We came here to experience the joy. And how great is that we get to know that, and then model it. And not everybody's going to like it, but we know that our purpose is joy. So, and then everyone around us is going to benefit from it, when we practice joy and we make that you know, a priority.
Yeah, because loving yourself is something I can control. and I can't make somebody love me the way I would like to be loved. But when I nurture myself and I give myself what I want, instead of like waiting for somebody else's time schedule or whatever, then I feel fulfilled. And when I'm full, I'm more apt to be loving, and not in order to get it back, but just, hey, my cup is full and I'll pour a little on you. And goes along with this too is also having that ability to say no when
Mm,
I don't want to
right.
do something. That's been
Yeah.
big because I find myself saying, okay, 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 and adjusting my time schedules for other people. And then I'll get cranky. And
Hmm.
then I want to reward myself, and that's where maybe I would eat when I really isn't food I want. Maybe what I wanted was to go for a walk down to the lake, and maybe my partner didn't want to go, and now I'm mad. But now I'm more up to like, okay, you don't want to go, I'm going, and oh, I'm sorry I won't be home in time for dinner, but there's stuff in the freezer, and I think I'm just gonna go out and get a little food at another place. You don't want to come, okay, that's okay, bye.
Yeah, that's the thing with me too, is the letting go of trying to control other people, or trying to get them to do what I want them to do when I want them to do it, and saying no. Yeah. So getting in touch with your inner being, and not only about food and like when to exercise or what to eat, but also, like you said, when to say yes, when to say no. If it's not a hell yes, or just like there are things that, like, well, okay, somebody needs to wash the dishes, or so yeah, doing those things. But like last night, my husband asked for help on a work project, and it was late at night, and I said yes, but I really didn't want to do it. It was like I really had my evening plan, what I was going to do, what I was going to accomplish for, the next hour or two. But I didn't want to disappoint him or something. So I said yes. And then I'm working on this. And like you said, I'm like getting grumpy and crabby. And I'm like, and then I realized, oh, I said yes when I really wanted to say no. And so
Yeah.
I was just like, you know what? I don't really want to do this right now. Can I do this tomorrow? Because I had my evening plan, and he's like, yeah, well, I asked you if you wanted to do it. It was so, yeah. So you're absolutely right. Like, but I think it's all a component of of getting alignment.
Mhm.
And so, what are some of the ways that you get in alignment and maintain your alignment and your vibration now? Do you
um
meditate, for instance, or is it the walks, or is it?
yeah, I like getting up in the morning, and I don't always get up early. In fact, lately I've been allowing myself to sleep in as much as I want. I guess I have a little bit of luxury because I'm an artist and I work at home. So it's not like I have to be at a job. Thank goodness right now it's a little easier to not have to
Mhm.
do that. But uh, I like starting out the day with, I'm looking over here because this is where I do it, yoga, uh, right by my plate glass window, sliding door. And first I'll feed the birds out there.
Mhm.
So the birds and the squirrels come up while I'm doing yoga.
Oh.
And yeah, and it's so comforting. I mean, it's the kind of yoga I do is more stretching, and it's very easy to go from waking up into that because it just feels really good, and I'm on a comfortable carpet, and then I've actually started doing some exercises too because I had hurt my knee and found out that my knees got out of alignment. And so I need to strengthen certain parts of it. So that's one way I'm taking care of myself is by
Mhm.
doing those exercises. And I may not do it every single day, but I'll try to do it every other day like that. And maybe if I don't get to it right away, I'll do it a little bit later. So I'm a little bit flexible, but I try to do the things that take care of myself overall pretty well. It's like I found that happy medium where I'm not like forgetting all of that, and I'm not forcing myself either. I'm just kind of like, okay, well, if I didn't do it this morning, I'll do it after breakfast. If I
But
don't
it's
do it after breakfast,
more of a yoga is also like a meditative thing, yes? Is that
yes,
for you? So that's
it is.
perhaps it's feeding.
And yes, and I also have learned to take, and sometimes I will meditate in the morning too, after that, or even before, where I just sit and relax and just let thoughts flow in and out. Just like I think of dandelions, where because I think ordinarily, a lot of times I have the kind of mind that wants to analyze things and figure it out. Like,
Mhm.
I got to figure out how this goes and put everything in order and get it all. But sometimes you just can't. Sometimes, and it takes a lot of effort to do that. So meditating is really nice because it's like you just let go of all of that and allow, and I just allow
Mhm.
whatever thoughts come in and go out. And it does relax me a lot. And I'll even take 4-minute meditations during the day if I feel myself getting grumpy. Like I
Mhm.
might be just trying to do something, maybe things are falling or some I get a call and I get sidetracked and then I feel myself going, ah, then sometimes I'll just take a minute to just stop and go, and deep
Mhm.
breathing is really nice too. It's just
Yeah.
like I'm more aware of when I feel a tension now, which is
Yes.
nice
Yeah.
because yeah, because if you have a little inner child that's like tapping you on the shoulder, like instead of like, yeah, go away, kid, I'm more like, oh, what's the matter?
Yeah,
And
that is so spot on. I mean, I really relate to that. Like, I'm more aware of when. How did you say it? I'm more aware of when I'm. Wait.
what grumpy,
Oh,
you're getting tense.
I'm more. Well, it's like what Abraham says, catching it before, or almost catching it right away. So, like, I'm more aware of it right when it happens and not wanting to let it go uh in over like 65 seconds or just like really like catch it when it happens like right away. I'm like, oh, I'm not feeling um very good right now emotionally. What Something obviously triggered me, and it's not necessarily that I need to figure it out what it even is. It's just like what would feel better right now. What
Yeah,
maybe I've been sitting at this desk too long and I just need to get up and go out, or maybe somebody said something, or something. I watched a piece of news that just felt yucky, and whatever it is, just like, okay, before I was like, I need to, like, you analyze and figure out what it was and what, now it's like, okay, my alignment is the most important thing. So can I what can I do right now that would help me feel better right now? So it's just like usually just physically move, physically get up and move and water the plants, or just move my body, take the
yeah,
walk. But yeah, I love what you're saying about just being more in touch with yourself, and knowing how you're feeling and listening to the cues of your body or your mind, and just like seeing, okay, what would feel better right now, basically, right? That's
Mhm.
what you're doing. Yeah, the same thing.
Yeah, and this what we're talking about reminds me of something that I just love that Abraham said. That changed my really changed. It was a real game changer. Because I always thought of myself as somebody who wanted to change the world. I want to change the world and make it a better place. And I always thought of that as a really good thing. But sometimes it gets like a little overwhelming
Hmm.
to change the world. And what Abram said that just really changed my thought about this is,
Mhm.
why change the world? The world is perfect the way it is.
There's nothing, well, saying like I want to change the world means that there's something wrong with the world, that there's something that needs to be fixed.
And
And
before, I would have said, of course, there's things to be fixed. Can't you see? But Abraham explains that, hey, this world that we're in here now is a world of contrasts. Everybody comes here to explore and experiment and do whatever they're doing, and they're facing the consequences of their choices, and they're learning perfect lessons
mhm,
for each of them. So I'm more about me now than trying to change outer situations, and as a result, I feel much more like I can control this. I can like take care of me. And when I'm happier, I believe that I'm a better example to my kids, for instance. And I don't have to try to change whatever they do. They can kind of see what I'm doing, and they're respecting me more, and they're kind of more open to my points now too, because I'm not about trying to change them. I'm more like living my own life. Like I even came here to North Carolina and left my kids in California
mhm,
because I saw that they were stressed out, and they weren't going to make a change, and I didn't really want to be there anymore. And so I just kind of up and made this change. And
mhm,
since I did it, now they're starting to change, do all kinds of changes
mhm,
and do what they want more.
mhm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's amazing how that happens, isn't it?
Yeah.
We just take care of ourselves, and also, focus on what we want for them. If that's the way to say it, like, they're like, for my kids, oh, I just focus on seeing them as the way that they want to be seen, the things that they want for themselves. I picture them as already done. I picture them as self-sufficient and thriving, and it's amazing how powerful that is. I mean, not that I have control over anybody, but that is so much more effective than worrying about them. Like, yeah, like you, my son is all the way, he's in Colorado, and yeah, and just seeing them as thriving and all of that. And absolutely, like, again, it goes back to letting go of, I don't have to save the world. Yay.
Yeah. It's such a relief. It's kind of like my dad used to say it like this. He said, the tail does not wag the dog. And when there's older people in your life or younger, your children or your parents, those are the tail. I am the dog. And
Mhm,
when I do things to make myself happier and focus on my own life and give them the dignity of getting to figure it out, because heaven knows I went through all kinds of things that I had to go through, and they weren't always comfortable. But I needed to experience all these things in order to come up with my conclusions, and they do too. And I think the most loving thing I can do, and I don't do it all the time, sometimes I really mess up, but is to just say, oh, you'll figure it out. You'll figure it out. You have it inside you,
Hmm.
because that actually empowers them. Instead of if when I get into, and I used to a lot be into advice and telling them, well, I did this and I figured out this, um, just to let them live their life, and at the same time, I don't try to um, fix things for them when they go awry either. Because if I try to fix things for them too much, then I get annoyed, and then I get annoyed at what they do, because if I'm going to be the one to have to fix it, that that irritates me. So when I don't fix it,
Mhm.
I let them fix it. That's the best way they can learn. And
Yeah.
anyways, yeah, I just feel less burdened. I feel like I have less weight on my shoulders. We could say it
Yeah.
like that.
About giving up control. Absolutely. That's I probably the biggest thing that I've gotten from Abraham, and is, because I definitely was a controlling person. So, just I keep on growing in that area, letting go, letting go, letting go. So I really want to thank you, Robin, for chatting with me. I'm excited that you're going to be in the next class again. Um,
I wanted to say another thing about that, about
oh,
being in the class, that I really like. I just really love being with a group of people who have similar things that they're working on, because it's kind of like a think tank, and in this day and age when we're not able to get together with people, especially, it's awfully nice to meet new people and to know that you're not alone, because I do believe there's a lot to be said about those connection like
mhm.
that. And that's what you're doing. You're bringing together all these people for this wonderful connection. And when we have that connection, it's so soothing.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, it really is. It really is. Absolutely. I think that's probably one of the main reasons people join group programs is for the connection of like-minded people cheering each other on, and people who understand. We have a very niche group because it's people who not only love Abraham, but they're in this conversation at all different stages of, food and body love, and that freedom, that we all want, that freedom that comes from self-love. So yeah,
Yeah,
thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And
sure.
I'll see you in the class.
All righty. Looking forward to it.
Okay, great. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.